Welcome. Episode 2, Z1 Concept North America Roundtable Discussion. Brian here from the Education Department, Director of Education. Anyway, we have another eminent group of fabulous people joined us today for this second discussion. But before we get underway with that, let me, as ever, pass you over to my co-host, my awesome work colleague and the creative director for education for Z1 Concept North America. Everybody welcome Gerard Caruso.
Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be here again, second episode. So it's really good. I think, we're really getting on board with creating some really valuable information to pass on to everybody. So again, Gerard Caruso, creative director of Z1 Concept USA. And let's get the ball rolling, Brian.
Okay, let's do that. Thank you, Gerard. Again, always a joy to have you with us. Of course, you and I working strangely like everybody else at the moment. But let's get the group to introduce themselves and where they're from and what your situation is. So let's call on Adam. See Adam in the corner there.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Adam Schubert in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am currently an independent booth renter right now.
Cool. Thank you, Adam. Let's move over to Hannah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much. I am an independent booth renter as well. I've been at the same place of employment for about 16 years. It's the Cutting Edge in Feeding Hills, Massachusetts.
Awesome. Let's come over to Sonia.
Hi, thanks for having me. This is awesome. It was kind of nice to have something different to do with my day. I'm Sonia Landon, and I'm from northern British Columbia, Canada. Prince George, not many people know where that is, so it's north of Vancouver. And I'm a salon owner of 23 years, and I'm also an educator with Z1 Concept.
Great, and more people now know where you are, so that's cool, Sonia.
There you go.
All right, let's go up to David and Marcus. Go.
Hey there, I'm David Robinson. I'm in Norton, Virginia, salon owner and educator for Z1 Concept.
And I'm Marcus Adkins, and I am a co-salon owner in Norton, Virginia too, and we own Hair Evolution. I'm a nail tech, and I'm also a nurse.
Nice.
Wow, oh, very valuable right now. Thank you. And last but not least, let's drop into Cheryl.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Bezlisco. I'm from Brunswick, Ohio. I am a salon owner. My salon is called SB International Salon. Okay, put the years in there. I'm an owner of about 32 years and still rolling. And I'm also a Z1 educator as well.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, as you can see, for everybody looking in, a fantastic group. So let's get started because time is going to be of the essence. So back over to Gerard. He's going to kick this off with the topic and subject matter that we'd love to share with all our colleagues out there. So over to you, Gerard.
All right, Brian, thanks. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time today. I think it's important that we realize where we're at right now and what's going on in the industry today. And, it's best to reach out to as many stylists and owners and everybody in our beauty industry and kind of share a little bit what we're going through, some suggestions that we may have. Like Brian said, we are hitting our second episode, and I'm really excited about that. And I think it's, something to come and build up on. But I think really what has been one of the major topics that is going around, it's all over Facebook, everybody, it's all over Instagram. Everybody's talking about it. We're texting each other and we're tweeting about it. And, some are getting annoyed, some are happy about it. But I think our guests are going through possibly the same anxieties and same challenges as we are. And their concern is how do they maintain their hair at home? And we know all the controversy that's going on in the industry. So I'd like to create this topic all about what are the home recommendations that we are providing for our guests at home, whether it be to maintain what they presently have or simply to go in there and to continue to beautify themselves every morning and get up. Everybody looks so beautiful on the Zoom chat today. So I want to start, I'm going to drop it all the way down to Cheryl and just get your input, Cheryl. Basically, what have you been hearing and what have you been starting to implement?
Well, I've been hearing probably everything that everybody else has been hearing about clients wanting to do their hair at home. They want to cut their bangs. They want to color their hair. I encourage them not to. We try to tell them that we'll save you more money if you don't do that, because if they do go ahead and color their hair, then it becomes a corrective color. So we're trying to encourage them not to. We're trying to encourage them to be positive. We're in the same boat they are. You know, we're getting up every day looking like them, you know, our hair, our new growths and all like that. So we're trying to keep them positive and contact with them constantly on Facebook as well to keep them focused on that as well. Did you want me to talk ideas, or that was about it for now?
Yeah, I mean, if you have an idea, you know, throw an idea out there and then we'll pass it around. We'll just keep coming around.
So one of the things that we've been doing is with our customers is trying to keep in contact with them. And like I said, keep them positive, keep them encouraged. We are selling them retail to help keep them up for the ones that want it. I go into the salon on Saturday for about a 2-hour period. We take their orders prior to that, and they pull up front. We drop it, they lower the window, we put it in, there's no contact. It's a hello wave, stay healthy. And we've been doing that. The main focus, I think, is people are focusing on how can they color their hair and their grays and stuff like that. So our solution that we've been offering is we've focused on the colored whips, as well as the conditioners with adding the direct color to it and making their custom conditioners, which we are allowed to sell as a retail item. So we've been doing that to help them, as well as focusing on certain individual products, like maybe the Integrity Intense conditioner, helping them keep their hair conditioned at home because it's drier. So I find that when we're doing this, it's making them a little bit more happy.
Right, right. And probably making them a little bit more at ease. Hannah, so what have you been starting to implement, and have any of your guests been calling you for any type of home recommendation?
Absolutely. My guests have been contacting me, and Cheryl, you had some great input there. I never thought of retailing the colored whip. That's a great idea. And I've just been recommending that they just wait this process, show their love to their stylist, show their roots, all that kind of thing. And I've just been trying to make a personal contact with each individual guest, if at all possible. So I've been going week by week. So I'm only 2 weeks out, but contacting them directly with a personal text from me. I will stay in contact. I'm not rebooking you at this time because I really don't know. I don't want to continuously rebook them, but I'm just saying I want to make this direct contact with you. You're important to me, rather than just a mass email or a group text or a Facebook post. So that's what I've been trying to do. I think that if you make them feel important and special, we're all homebound, you know, and an extra month isn't gonna kill you as much as you are not loving your roots like everybody else. It's just, if you love your stylist and want to see your stylist succeed, and you have that personal relationship with your guest, I think that making that personal connection makes them feel important, and giving them the opportunity to reach out to me with any questions.
Right, right. And I think it's funny because it was not too long ago, and I don't even know if she's still doing it, but you know, and I'm not encouraging guests to do it for a long period of time, but you know, when Alicia Keys went all natural, and she started saying, hey, let's all go natural. She kind of started doing concerts without makeup and not really doing her hair. And I'm, you know, if Alicia Keys can do it for the amount of months that she did it, you know, we're just reaching out to our guests to say, please continue to support us. Please go natural for the next month, and let's get it going. And the common denominator, Brian, you know, from what we're hearing right now is everybody keeping in contact with their guests.
We are so aligned. It's ridiculous. That was exactly what I was going to share as soon as Gerard's finished.
And then it's funny because, you know, even Brian, in our last Zoom chat roundtable discussion, that was a key thing too. And, you know, fortunately, there are larger salons, there are studio salons, independents, and, you know, any salon that can employ anywhere from 9 to, you know, we had a salon that was employing 28 last time we discussed. But, you know, it's depending on what your clientele is like and how you can reach out to them, and whether it be through, you know, personally calling them or texting or emails or whatever, the connection is important. So David and Marcus, what's going on in there in Virginia? How's everything going as far as your guests?
So we currently are just approaching our first week of the shutdown for Virginia. So we've I forwarded my salon calls to my cell phone so that I can still keep in contact with people as they have questions, you know, to stay in communication. And like Cheryl said, we're still offering curbside retail service. So if there's some type of prescriptive, you know, color cocktail that I can add to the conditioner or what have you, we'll do that and send that home. And just trying to encourage everybody to wait. It's going to be very difficult because once this comes to an end and this ban is lifted, you know, we're going to have all of these people that have been waiting 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever, and they're going to want that first appointment. So like Hannah was saying, it's kind of tough to reschedule people because if you do that and then their appointment comes up, then you're going to have people behind them. So it's going to be really tough for all of us.
And on my side, because nail enhancements tend to grow out really quick, so I've had to instruct people on how to safely remove like dip powder or shellac or gel nails without damaging their nails, and providing even the right grain of files so that they don't do more damage to their nail at home.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting. Sorry, Joe. Yeah, it's so great having a nail tech on because that's a challenge as well. Like people want to have their hair colored. So thanks for sharing that, Marcus. And as Gerard said earlier, I mean, one of the really key elements that's come through is the personal contact. And I know each of you are enjoying being on this right now. This is kind of like almost a personal contact with you. And we've reached out to quite a lot of you with personal calls. And, you know, and we know how important that is. And while we've got the time, it's good to support your guests, isn't it? And when they hear your voice, that really charms them. And I think you put them more at ease rather than them getting caught up in this whirlwind that we all know is going on. So thank you for all of you sharing that. So that's great. So let's hear from Adam. He's been waiting up there patiently.
Hey guys. So just like the majority of everybody with the experience of wanting to color their hair at home, Arizona, we've been affected a little bit differently. Our governor hasn't put a ban on salons, and we're not locked down. So people are still able to come to the salon. However, I've seen a huge decrease in clients. I've had a lot of cancellations, people doing their part in staying home. So one of the things that I've personally done was I have cut back my time in the salon, so I'm not there as frequently. And I've been offering partial color versus doing like a full retouch, so I can hit the hairline and their part, so that at least they have some extension, but we're not sitting for an hour and a half, 2 hours in the salon, and limiting that contact, taking extra precautions to sanitize as well. But for the clients that I've had cancel who, you know, they've been worried about the whole experience that we're going through. I personally reach out to them. I let them know that we're going to make it through this okay, and that, you know, I'm here for them. So in the event that they do need something to treat their color, I am doing the conditioners with the direct color. I've been offering and retailing the whipped products. So I do have my guests coming in and picking up their retail still and caring for their hair, and even have reached out and given hot tips on how to change their part. Maybe I notice where if they're a blonde, they have a little more silver in their regrowth, so to speak, where they could switch their part to help kind of camouflage that dark regrowth area. So that's something that I've been doing as well. But we've been doing the best we can to educate our clients not to box color, because the fact that there's that color correction that comes into play when we have to fix that. And I think that it's going to be a much easier process for us to address their color issues once they come in and we get beyond this pandemic that we're going through right now.
Cool. Well, I mean, in respect to what you just shared there, Adam, I'm sure the rest of you agree. You've got a little time now to get yourself really prepared, haven't you? Because inevitably it will come fully your way that the governor will make that announcement. So anyway, great ideas. So finally, let's get to Sonia, and then I've got a question for Gerard as well.
Hi. So we've been locked down for probably about a week and a half, and I haven't had a lot of clients reach out yet. But on Instagram and Facebook, every few days, I've been posting some things to encourage to please stay away from scissors and stay away from box color, that kind of thing. There's really some great ideas. I haven't started doing the retailing yet, but I think that will be soon to come the longer we, are homebound. I think in the beginning when we closed down, people were kind of thinking it might only be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but it's kind of looking longer than that. So I think people are going to start panicking and it's going to get worse. So this is great because it's given me a lot of ideas for the future, because I think I will be getting calls. I had a couple of clients about the week before when we're sort of anticipating this, that, do you think you would come in and do my hair on the side? And at the time I was like, yeah, probably. But I don't think anybody would be asking me that now. But I would not, because I just would not put myself and my family at risk at this point. But I wanted to address what David had said earlier about, and this might be another topic, but about when we do go back to work with our clients, and some of us might have 8 weeks worth of clients to do. What is everybody doing with rebooking clients, and how are we going about that?
Okay, well, let's have that as a little add-on side topic.
Yeah.
That's great. So, Sonia, this sometimes it finds its own way when we're having these discussions. So we'll get everybody's view in a moment, but just want to bring Gerard into the picture, maybe just to even just close out this little topic. Gerard, I know that because everybody's aware that Gerard still has a salon also, along with working with Z1 Concept, and I learn a lot from him also because we work so closely together. But I know that Gerard kind of got ahead of the game even before the governor made the announcement. You made the decision, which I fully respected him. I thought it was a brilliant decision to make. So can you share to the group some of the practices that you've put in? Because I know you're just slightly ahead of the game here.
Well, it is true. I mean, and I mentioned it at a previous roundtable. I did jump on the bandwagon way before and decided when all this started to hit the fan, I opted to take the temporary close, which was only possibly, the beginning of the week prior to when the governor of New Jersey ended up closing all salons. It's amazing to me that there are still states that have not implemented that yet. So it's kind of amazing in that aspect. And I do understand everything goes on, the quantity of how the virus is being spread. But we took the initiative to close. And, I took the initiative to reach out to my staff members, hold an emergency meeting, bring them in, explain the whole situation to them, and immediately aid them in a different avenue. And we'll talk about that in another topic on how they are going to financially be able to be okay and not worry about it. Aided them in that aspect. And then we decided, okay, let's just sterilize down the salon. Let's take care of everything. And now what's going to be implemented next? Because the influx of calls and the influx of text messages and emails and voice messages were coming in on, clients needing to really squeeze in real quick before everything was going down. And even though there were salons open, like everybody, and I think especially for us that own salons in areas that salons are open, your first instinct is, if I don't try and service my client by possibly giving them a curbside pickup of pre-mixed formula, or if I don't squeeze them into the salon real quick and sneak them in or do them in my home, they might go somewhere. If they're a loyal client, they're not. I immediately reached out to all my clients, and even on Facebook and all over, and just said to them, please continue to support your salons. Not just my clients, but to all, to continue to support your salons. And I just want you all to realize something, that if we are going through vanity and we need to touch up and we need to do something, I do not believe in curbside pickup for color. That's just my personal opinion, and some people are doing it, and I totally respect them as an individual, but I don't believe in that because of the simple fact that we, in my salon, utilize a professional color. And I have this here for a reason, because, this color wheel is really, really important. And if everybody understood it correctly, and then probably my doubts would be differently, but nobody does. And I think that our guests don't realize that we utilize something to create something that we've created for them. It's not something that they could just open up a tube of color, squirt it in. So, to try and favor the fact of people doing coloring at home didn't make any sense to me. So we opted to let everybody know that we were going to continue to keep our phones mandated and our emails mandated and take all beauty orders that you possibly needed. And we, again, decided not to do curbside, but we are actually using the US Postal Service and mailing it out. So we do have our color whipped creams that we've been selling, directing conditioners, utilizing powder touch-up minerals, things like that. And that's what we offer them to get them by. And we give them a step-by-step instruction. We constantly email them. And we are in constant loop with our guests, whether it be through text, FaceTime, email, whatever. But every week that we are home, every week, we send a text to our guests, and we have been getting responses. Hey, how do I put my hair in a clean ponytail? I have a webinar to do. How do I camouflage some of the regrowth area that I presently have? I have a Zoom call to do. I have a cocktail party Zoom call. You know what I mean? That's like the big thing right now. Everybody's doing cocktail party Zoom calls. So we've been implementing that. We've been reaching out to them. I think I really liked what David said earlier about, transferring the phone calls to his cell phone. If you can't do that, then mandate your phones. My salon manager calls the salon every day. If we need to do, right now, my home has become a small little shipping department because we have all the tape, all the envelopes, products in-house in order to ship out. So reach out to your guests, let them know that you're there to support them, provide them with any beauty products they need. Not only do you not want them to color their hair at home, you don't want them to use liquid detergent or any other type of store-bought shampoo. You want to keep it in a professional level, and that's what we're here for.
Awesome. Well said. Great. Thank you, Gerard. Did you feel the energy in that there? That was awesome. Thank you. I knew that was a good time to bring you in. So let's go to Cheryl and get your thoughts on Sonia's idea, well, not so much idea, but like the topic of, how you're going to handle when we do get back to some form of sequence with the guests.
All right. So what David mentioned, back to the phone calls, we did too have ours transferred to, I had a spare cell in my house. So we had the salon number transferred there. A lot of stylists don't realize to do that. So I've been trying to spread that as much as possible. What we're going to do is when we go back is we're going to create a package. And I think this is really important because a lot of our clients right now, they're stressed, they're overworked. For the ones that are working. And we're going to do some kind of pamper package. We're in the process of putting it together. So it's more than just a haircut or more than just a color. So we're going to stack other services on top. It'll upsell the ticket a little bit, but that's not the main reason we're doing it for. We're doing it to make those clients come in and be pampered. One of the things that we thought, Brian, you'll like this, we thought that we are going to do hot toddies because they're relaxing, but low on the alcohol end. If you guys don't know what a hot toddy is, it's just a little shot, but we would even do some with and some without, but very low, just because they're a very relaxing drink. We want our clients to come back and we want to de-stress them. As much as we're all going to be going crazy because we're adding extra hours, my staff is all to add hours. So they're like, whatever we got to do to get everybody in, within reason. We don't want to overstuff ourselves to where we're not doing quality work because we're all about quality, not quantity. So that's one of the things that we're putting together right now that I think is really important is focus on the customer when they come back to take that extra care and pamper them because we know we can get them in and get them out. But I think we need to do this for them because they are staying loyal to us. They are following us on Facebook and Instagram. They are not coloring their hair. They are asking the questions like Gerard said, what do I do with my hair? Because we are keeping in contact with them. So I feel it's really important that we give a little bit extra more to them when they come back.
Awesome. That's great.
I just want to share this because I know that we are all now talking about, the influx of when everybody comes back. And I think that, I think that is important. And I think that we need to discuss that. We need to, have a plan of action for that. But I think that what we all need to realize, okay, and this is for all hairdressers are going to be inviting to the idea. Of course, they want all their guests to come back in. And I think that David said it correctly before, because, everybody's going to want to strive for that first appointment. Everybody's going to want to jam in there. But at the same token, we need to keep in mind that if we want to encourage everybody to continue to follow social distancing as far as what is going on as the epidemic is right now, we have to be conscious of that is still going to be in the back of their minds once we open up again, and once clients and our guests start entering back into the salon. And some guests might be offended to the fact that there are going to be 30 people in a salon at one time. They don't want that. Do you know what I mean? So we have to gradually, like everything in life, we have to gradually bring everything back to its regular norm. But I think that, David's bringing this topic up is really important, because we can't just think that we're going to just automatically go back and be bombarded, because you can definitely set a different type of epidemic out there of fright to everybody. Yeah. And everybody will be conscious of that.
Good point, Gerard. And I think, that there's a lot of talk, isn't there, in all across the medias, et cetera, with what will be the new norm. Because nothing, I think, will be the same as it was. I mean, we're going to have to tread warily, as Gerard's saying. So on that point, David, do you have other thoughts on this subject while we're on? Because I think this is quite emotive.
Subject of rebooking?
Yeah, well, when you said about the client wanting that first appointment, to avoid the stampede.
I don't. I think everyone will kind of have reservations about large crowds. So I think we have to take that into consideration too.
Sure.
Carl said it's more quality over quantity. So we can't come back in and be extremely overwhelmed in the first couple of days and be completely worn down. So,
well, I think too, you need to focus on those people who have those booked appointments that are really regular maintenance people. So, that your grays who are trying to keep that hidden, that coming back every 3 weeks. I want to get them in first, as opposed to someone who's a little younger, who could grow their roots a little longer, that may come in every 8 to 10 weeks. Just because salons are open again doesn't mean they have to rush to the salon. So you can prioritize your people that way.
And I think that everybody needs to also think about the aspect of it. I mean, if our guests have been home now and they are, if everything goes with what was just mentioned yesterday on the news, where they want to continue the lockdown for another 30 days till the end of April, if that is going to be a consistent, now you have to realize that our guests are now coming back with 6 inches. I'm sorry, 6 inches. That'd be a lot. 6 weeks of regrowth, when some of them used to come in on a monthly basis, and especially for our double processed blondes, so you want to start to think about booking appropriately, because you now are almost going to be on that realm of, and if they did anything to themselves at home, on that corrective color mode. So, you have to take into consideration while and when rebooking these guests back in. And that is also why we should all recommend them to, absence is the most important thing when it comes to hair color right now, at home absence for the hair color. And the reason for that is because you don't want them to be put into a color corrective situation when they come back into the salon. The greed would say yes, but the heartfelt stylist, which is out there today, is going to say no when it comes to that, because we have to be aware of the fact that, appropriate booking, appropriate timing, and what are we working with now.
Cool. Okay, Hannah, let's have a few words from you, and then we'll move on to Adam.
I think those are some great points. I hadn't even considered possibly having to book off more time. Obviously, there's going to be more regrowth and possible color corrections. And I think that we just have to be extremely sensitive, because we've all gone through just a myriad of emotions. We're up and down, we're anxious, us as stylists, our guests. And so I think it could go one of two ways. We could have our guests that are anxious and really hesitant to come back and want to be eased into it, and then those that just want to get in immediately. So I'm not sure which way it'll go. We've never faced anything like this before, and time will tell. And I know for me personally, I've just considered working more hours. I'm a sole proprietor. I don't have anybody else helping me. So this is hurting me financially for sure, but we'll get through it. And it's more important to stay healthy and stay strong and have our guests be at ease and at comfort.
Good. Okay. Adam.
Yeah, I agree with what Hannah said. We've never been through anything like this. And so having to figure out how we're going to manage this is, I feel like, going to be slightly difficult. But I've been in a chat with several of the girls in my salon who we've been discussing what we're going to do to try and recover from this. And we had actually came up with an idea of doing an open house night and try and get our guests to come in to ease them out of the fear of being in the salon that has been set in. I feel like there's been a lot of fear with being in the salon. And so we were going to do hors d'oeuvres and styles, blowouts. That was one of the things we were going to try and do to get everybody to be comfortable to come to the salon, but as well as get them booked, let them know, have a face-to-face conversation versus just through text on how we're going to address this and get them back into the salon. But I've also been spending a lot of time with my clients who are on that 2, 3, 4 week cycle of being in the salon and letting them know that it's going to be okay. And I will be opening my books extra time and hours to get everybody in. But also I have to make sure to keep my sanity there so that I don't overwork myself and I'm exhausted at the end of the day, so that I can give myself, not just myself, but my clients 110% of everything that I do for them, so that they're getting what they expect every time as they did before.
Cool. Great. Wow. And I think it's very important for everybody concerned to consider your own well-being. And like as Adam says, not to overwork yourself, because your natural instinct is to work longer hours. And I think we have to manage it carefully. And what that completely looks like, I'm sure very few of us totally know. But if we keep an eye on that and we start kind of thinking, and thank you to Sonia for even like sparking this topic. But I think it's, it's captured us along, because it's still part of how do we, recommend with the clients, because we're going to recommend the booking, aren't we, of them coming back to the salon. So Sonia, let's have, that worked out quite nicely. Let's have the kind of final word on this from you, and then I'll go back to Gerard and we'll kind of get ready to close this session out. So over to you.
Yeah, I think what I was planning on doing, there was a lot of really great suggestions, was working extra hours. And I have a couple of apprentices that aren't, they don't have a big clientele. So I thought I might recommend some of my lower maintenance clients that they could do root touch-ups with some of my other staff, so that it would alleviate, maybe I could still do the cuts, but just so that they know that I'm there with them. But if they really want to get in, trying to book the first people that didn't get their appointments and kind of going from there. Because I think it's going to be difficult when we go back. A lot of us have clients that book 2, 3 appointments ahead, and they're already going to be booked. And then you have more people you're trying to filter in. So I think most people will probably be pretty open about that. And I think most people will be sensitive to our needs as their stylist as well. They don't want us triple booking and not doing a great job on them either. So hopefully everybody will be patient. And I had put out a text, or actually on Facebook and Instagram, about try to be patient with us, and we're all in the same place, and we're all unsure of what's going on, and we'll do our best to help them out when we come back. So
cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I got some great ideas, so it's really great that we're doing this today.
Good. Well, thank you. Thank you for you sharing as well, Sonia. That was excellent. So Gerard, how about just, giving us an overview, close out, and I'll say thank you to everybody.
I think especially with this topic, I think we kind of like dabbled into two different topics here, but I think what was really important is that we definitely all talked about the home recommendations and what was suggested, or what we suggest as stylists. And we need to get all of our co-workers and our stylist friends and our colleagues all on the same page when we all think about this. We are an industry that reaches out and touches people. We are an industry that provides them gratification, non-surgical, beautifies them, most importantly, also mentally stimulates them, because we speak to them on a serious note on a day-to-day basis when they enter in our salons. And if anything, I'm sure that a lot of our guests are missing that portion of it just as much as they're missing the fact that we beautify them. And, I had reached out to a lot of other colleagues of mine and had many different discussions about, the home recommendations and what can we do. And I encourage everybody to continue to keep in contact with your guests, to continue to recommend them. I had to at one point say to one of my guests one day, put it up in a ponytail. Nobody's going to see. You're not going anywhere. Doesn't worry about it. I can teach you ways of camouflaging your hair with your own hair. Ponytail, buns, twists, do whatever it could take, drop some pieces out. But most important for us is to try to get everybody on the same wavelength and realize that, curbside pickups for color is only the beginning of a disastrous approach down the road. And if they are doing it, I understand it. Everybody is shooting for financial gain. I get it. And you need financial support. And I wholeheartedly understand that. But at the same token, to continue to reach out to your guests, continue to do recommendations at home of what they can do to maintain their day-to-day routine, which has changed, like Brian mentioned earlier, and when we get back to work, stylists, we have to understand that sensitivity is going to be a big issue. And we need to focus on that. We need to be considerate. And I liked how Hannah said about, we might have to work more hours. I used to teach my staff all the time, and my salon owner taught them too. Sometimes you have to go out of your way for our guests, just like our guests go out of their way for us. So we need to take that in consideration. I want everybody to stay well, stay healthy, keep growing your retail businesses, because, at the end of the day, we're affecting every avenue of our beauty industry that we possibly can. And I think that our guests would appreciate everything that we do. So thank you everybody for being on this call. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I loved your closing, Sonia, when you mentioned that, this was important that you were able to come on this roundtable because you're walking away. And I believe that we could all say that we've all walked away with a little bit of information today.
Right. Thank you, Gerard. So, wow, that time went by quick, didn't it? So a lot of information, but what's really important for each of us here, team, is the message that we're sending out, because when this goes to publication on live, if you like, the feedback Gerard and I received from the previous one was very, very warming. That stylists out there were like, wow, so thank you so much for doing this. And they're loving to hear your voices, because we're, like all of you have said, we're all in this together. So if we can even offer one thing, like, each of you has picked up on something. I've been listening to all of you also, and it's fantastic, and it's really, really important that we continue with these roundtables and keep getting our message out and show the world that we are caring and we really do appreciate what's going on for everybody. So, from Gerard, were you going to say something? He looked like he was going to say something.
Is that a yellow ball you have back there? Throw me that ball. I need one.
Oh, okay. Where is it? Here you go.
Throw it out.
You like my makeshift office. Here we go. You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I got it.
Yeah, nice catch. You can tell we've rehearsed that one. I thought you'd forgotten about it there. So
I saw it up there.
Yeah. So anyway, on a kind of joyous and fun note, you can all unmute yourself now, and I would, on behalf of Gerard and myself and Z1 Concept North America, David and Marcus, thank you so much for being with us. Adam, Hannah, Sonia, and Cheryl, please congratulate yourselves. They did a great job. Thank you so much for supporting this roundtable. And let's do it. Come on, make a noise. Come on. There you go. Thank you. And listen, stay strong, as Gerard said. Also, stay safe, stay healthy. You know, be sensible, and we look forward to the moment when we can be out of this. But you've played a great part in helping our industry, so I feel very proud of that. And on that note, once again, thank you for the team being here and giving up their time to spend with us today. And we look forward to bringing you episode 3 very soon. So watch this space. For myself and Gerard Crusoe, thank you. Over and out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.